All right, SEO strategies tutorial to help you rank higher on Google in 2024. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In this video, what I'm going to go ahead and break down first and foremost is I want to answer a few questions that I received inside the actual comment section. I'll also take the time to answer any questions that you might have related to SEO, local SEO, pretty much anything related to techniques and or strategy that we're discussing or that comes up in the questions. Feel free to ask. And then to wrap things up, to have a little bit of fun, we'll set up some tests. So I, of course, don't want to waste any time. We'll get directly into it. So let's head right over here. We're going to start with Dr. Bio's question. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and write this out now. Oh, it looks like I have my thing already on. So here, please see a live video from 3/13 of 2024 for the answer to this question. Okay, period. And then, of course, a thank you for taking the time to reply. So let's go ahead and get into this. So the very first question here is, do we send 10% of the traffic for the month, for the whole month of March, 80 visits total? So every website is different. And please note, this video here is from a very long time ago. When we're talking about SEO, this can almost seem like ages ago. So what we what we want to make sure that we're taking care of is maximizing when we're talking about CTR or traffic or amounts. This is based on your website. When I was really first figuring things out, yes, on the sites that I was working on, 10% was probably key. And yes, we were getting movement. But as the years have progressed, and so has strategy, so has technique, I've had a lot more assets and a lot more success and a whole lot more failures. So with that being said, what I would look at is your website's best page average. Once we can establish the best pages average, then we can come up with an actual equation on how much traffic, how much CTR we should be sending to specific pages. All right, so this is going to be a case-by-case basis, a site-by-site, a page-by-page. We really need to take a look and see where we're currently at. So hopefully that helps you out. Now, Richard is asking a question related to the live. And Richard, what I did here is inside of the member section, I started posting a text poll. So if you are a member, each week we'll put up a poll and we'll see if we can get multiple votes for the same thing, whether we're going to cover a topic. And if not, we're going to move into mini trainings as I formulate my local SEO topical relevance training. In fact, we've already developed over 16 different videos that is the step-by-step process of what we do on a day-to-day basis. We really want to be able to take people, business owners, from beginning until end. So that's the main focus and the main priority right now is making sure that we can help and assist members currently on their needs right now, and then progress them through an actual training where they can get the entire process instead of going through, well over 1,000 videos at this point, hours of content, whether that's podcast or YouTube, training in the Mastermind. I really want it to be itemized. So I want to put a direct priority on that type of content. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. And thank you for your question. The next question here is from Roman Ladd. All right. All right. So Roman asks, hey, Chris, greetings from Romania. Is it possible to tell the services on the homepage PTAT can be linked with the URL for that specific page if it's in the same location? No. Websites, and thanks for the question. In my personal opinion, the objective is to build depth of concept around a particular service, in this case, because we're a local business, right? We're literally building and framing the entire website around services. So what that means to me is if I have my website and I have a forward slash, a primary service, and then I have a forward slash, whether I'm talking about information or I'm talking about cities, what I want to make sure of is that I'm only cross-linking services, whether that's informational or commercial intent-based content that's based on an actual service. For instance, let's say, for instance, that we're a personal injury lawyer. We're a personal injury lawyer that also offers medical malpractice, and we do brain injuries, we do pedestrian, workman's compensation. We have a slew of services, 20, 30 probably, right? So what this means is, let's say that we're in Florida. More importantly, let's say we're in Orlando. We cannot cross-reference or cross-link my medical malpractice Orlando to my truck accident lawyer Fort Myers. Okay? But I can go ahead and cross-reference all of my medical malpractice or all of my trucks that are in those different cities. Okay? As long as it's about the same service. Hopefully this helps you out. All right, moving into the next one. So Rick Jr., thanks for your question. Hey, Chris, amazing video. Where can I buy those domains and how can I choose? Thank you for your question, but this far exceeds, a small comment. I can make an entire series on this. However, some of the places that I would go ahead and start is I do have some videos that are related to understanding what topical relevance is, utilizing a tool like SEMrush or Majestic. Once you can understand category, and once you understand referring domains, now you understand the quality of a site, right? If I have high referring domains in the category that I need, now we can start looking through and sorting by category and referring domain, right? And then this is what really depicts a very high quality site for something along these lines that we discuss in this particular video, okay? So with that being said, there's a magnitude of different tools out there that we can utilize for scraping, whether it's Scrapebox, Expired Domain Hunter and Gatherer. There's even tools now that are cloud-based that will help you scrape domains, all right? So again, there is a plethora of information that we would want to digest and understand and technically overstand before we start making the investment in time and dollars, in deploying a strategy, right? So hopefully that helps you out. All right. Web Legion, thank you for your question. The next question from Web Legion is, what about getting a feature on a link on Wikipedia? Is it possible? So this is a good question. Is it possible to get a feature post on Wikipedia? The answer is yes, but Wikipedia has made it very clear what those particular standards or qualifications are. There's qualifying websites, right? And there's sites that qualify. They literally have a page in order to not only give you a list of examples, but also what would actually give you the right to have your own feature or your own post within Wikipedia. So the answer is yes, but for a vast majority of people, even though we all know that we're special in a specific way, the probability of us being able to achieve this is highly unlikely, right? There needs to be a standout. And not only do I need to be a standout, but I also need to get other external sources to validate that I'm a standout. All right, so hopefully this helps you out. All right. Okay. All right. So, all right. So Frank is speaking to me about a SEO tool video that I gave a script, right? If you're returning an error, then there must have been an error, right? I literally shared the exact same script that I utilized. Make sure that you're following it to a T. Make sure that you're putting your keywords in. Make sure you're not asking for too much. A lot of times, business owners and people that I speak to, they're setting the parameter very high. So, or they're putting in too much information. Take a look at the script, make sure you didn't make any errors, because one wrong comma could seriously hinder the performance of the script. So hopefully that helps you out. Okay, this is a fun. We have the same person. The wording is interesting. Okay, so Adolf Gold, and then along with his alias, Shermom B77. I'm not sure if that's a name or just a number sequence, but let's address both of these questions right now. So the very first one is, at the end of the day, can I do a yearly link building budget of $150? Of course you can. Absolutely. But for the vast majority of keywords that are going to help you achieve, a recurring income, this simply is not enough. You may be able to get a temporary success. You may be able to get a small success. But at least from my experience, in a vast majority of SERPs where there is any type of competition at all, 150 doll hairs simply isn't enough. All right. Now, there's a lot that you can do that isn't going to require dollars, but what it will require is time and skill, right? And the skill part costs you way more because of the time and the investment. So, at the end of the day, it's an investment. You're investing in yourself. So whether that's going to be accrued time and skill and effort, aka dollars, or that's going to be, hey, I'm going to go and spend the time and the resource and generate the skills in order to produce a result. Whichever way you go, you're going to pay for that result, right? So can you make it happen for that dollar? Sure. But are you going to find the success that's going to lend to a actual life? I haven't found that yet. There's a lot of time and effort that will go into finding success. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. And then as far as $15 and $20 links and value. Okay, cost and value, Adolf, are two separate things, right? That's all that there is to say about that. If you're putting a price tag and demeaning the cost, or putting cost as an evaluation of quality or value, then I believe that you may be mistaken. Cost does not dictate performance and or value of something, right? So the answer is yes. Yes, $15 to $20, you will be able to get a valuable guest post. Values are assessed in many different ways, and $15 to $20, depending on who you talk to, is either high or very low, especially for a single link. But when we look out into the marketplace, and especially in this particular category, which I'm working on this, I'm going to keep making more content around this as I grow. Um, but it has been wildly, you know, like even my own brother, for instance, when I first, you know, I was like, man, he had his own job and he was doing his own thing. But I was like, man, why don't you come help me out? I could use some help. We get along super well. Let's work together. And his perception of SEO was negative, and he never even built a website when I first talked to him, other than like in school and stuff. But the perception of the industry, is gritty. So, and yeah, so when you're out in the marketplace and you're used to people 100 timing the cost of something, and your value is this, but your cost is this. When you have someone come along and actually properly price something, there's like, whoa, what's going on here? So this is a fun thing. I've had to overcome personally. Because as a business owner, because at the end of the day, I'm still a business owner, and then you'll have your people that can understand the value to cost ratio, and they'll see the cost, but understand the value and say, oh, that's a good deal. But then you have the other people on the other side where they'll see the price and they'll automatically assume, because of, I consider skill or perhaps experience, they can't properly assess because of what is going on in the marketplace. $200 for the same exact thing. I mean, literally, I could go and buy from the same list as you're paying here for 2, and I can go and get it for 8. You see? But in any case, hopefully that helps you out. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but this is a fun one for me. Something that riles me up beyond belief. And you can't educate the entire market. Like, it's impossible. It's impossible. I mean, we could try, but it's impossible to educate the entire market, especially everywhere you look, you're being gouged. If, it's madness in this particular industry. Especially as you flourish or as you grow and you make more and more connections in different places, and you start to see, like, wait a minute, this is getting, this is out of control. But I do see the value in, whether you want to call it a funnel, or if you want to call it a bundle or a package of sorts, where I've already pre-assessed what it's going to take, and you're able to put a play together or put a strategy together. So I'm bundling not only a service, but also a strategy together, and then that fetches a premium. That I understand. But either way, let's move on. Trinity asks, and thanks for this question. So, okay. So, Trinity, I see this issue a lot. Creating a new listing is an option, right? If you had a suspended business and you've already gone through the reinstatement process 2-3 times, yes, creating another listing is definitely a card in your deck of hands that you can play, right? But first and foremost, when you first get suspended, they're going to address the policy violations that you potentially or allegedly committed, right? So what I would do is I would address the reason first and foremost. And I've talked to all types of business owners. You as a business owner, you know what you did. You know why you're sitting there. And yes, I've talked to some where they legitimately, like, they didn't change the name. They didn't change the category. They didn't change their phone number. Like, they literally didn't do anything. But sometimes there's other things at play. And those other things at play is that there's other people trying to take your position, right? There's evil everywhere, right? So there is people simply just out there to not only spam fight, but also just negatively impact your business. So you need to properly assess, what's the reasoning? Will this happen again? Can I forego going through this again? And then make your decision. All right. But to answer your question specifically, yes, you can. Is that the best route? I don't know right now from reading your question, but what I can tell you is that that is one thing that you can do. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. Oh yeah, these are old ones. So the young lady that I have helping me out doing social media, we had a hard drive full, right? They went on trip, like vacation, holiday, whatever you'd like to call it. I'm not sure where you're from. But they went away on holiday. So they went on holiday, and before they left, they made a slew, about 350 videos, right? Short videos. So they had a hard drive of 350 videos, and they already had some programmed before I already addressed that specific issue. Hey, I want to have the title, my link to my main website and Mastermind, and along with that, take the base video, because we need to take the base video in order to create the short. Anyway, you already have that. I need that to create the video. And then also address, hey, go here to this particular long form piece of content. Because when I started this, I didn't realize that it would illy impact my main channel. I thought shorts were helpful until I looked at the numbers and I realized, no, not all audiences, there's an audience for shorts and there's an audience for longer form content. I've built my particular audience on longer form content, well thought content. I might do it off the top of my head because I know I do this stuff every single day. Like I don't script stuff. Like I just know it, right? But yeah, I've built it off of longer form content. Anyway, all right. Hey, this is my guy right here. I haven't talked to this guy in a while. Chris does. So, and thank you, Jesus Leadership Training. I appreciate this question. All right. So, this will be the last one that I do, because these are from months ago. So I did all of the newer ones. All right. So let's go ahead and answer this. So Chris, does adding links to your page to the best SERPs about that topic help in your ranking? Or is it best to only interlink to your own internal pages with relevant links? Greg, thanks for that question. So an authority link can be good, but not on every page, and it's not a requirement. Okay? In my opinion, a authority link can also be something that you probably already have on your page. And this could be your social media links. This could also be to your maps listing or your YouTube account, right? You have to note that when you're building these types of links, you've already addressed a well-known or well-documented practice of having an authority outbound link, right? So in most cases, not that I'm, insane about, page sculpting or authority sculpting or whatever you want to call it. Maybe I am a little, but, we've probably already addressed that issue. So do I want to, get rid of more page rank? Not necessarily. However, if you're competing in a particular SERP and every single player in that SERP has 40 outbound links, I don't think they would, but let's just say they did. A vast majority has more than just social media. A vast majority has multiple outbound links going to authoritative or niche, relevant, or specific category type pages. Then yes, we may want to build one more. But oftentimes just having social media, Google Maps, YouTube, your podcast, whatever other medias that you have is probably enough. All right. So hopefully that helps you out. All right, let's see if you have anything in here. I don't know how I sound either. Let's see what we got cooking. I hope that you can hear me okay as well. What I did is I turned up the gain. You know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning where I am, so I'm being relatively quiet. It's kind of chilly here tonight. When I went to my office, I had shorts, I had my shirt. Luckily, I had my hoodie here. You know, when I got here, I was like, man, it's kind of nice. Then as the weather changed, I had to leave home early today. I had to leave to go home early today, so that was fun. Um, anyway, I'm going to answer some of your questions. So let's go ahead and start with iPhone repairs. Hello, Chris. Hello to you. All right, Mastermind, last week, and appreciate the insomnia streams. Yes, yes. You got me, man. Dude, I like that name, Richard. That's good, bro. Insomnia streams, dude. Insomnia SEO streams. Good, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Clever. But thank you for coming. Trans Canada, best local number providers. It's been such a long time. Not a long time, but we built a proxy. We built a phone farm, right? I have countless amounts of authentic phone numbers, or business owners are already pre-set up with your call rails, your Vonages, these types of business phone systems, right? They already have this type of stuff set up. So oftentimes I don't need to be concerned. If it's a private project, I utilize my own phone numbers. As they get burned, or as we rotate, is what I call it. As we rotate numbers or rotate SIMs, we have allocation. We have them, so it's not necessarily an issue for us. So I don't go shopping is what I'm getting at. All right, so I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you. Are mass videos useful in 2024? They can be. I'm not sure what niche or which category you're working in, but no matter what, you can find a large amount of SERPs that have a video feature. Whether that's a video carousel, a featured video is very uncommon, but video carousel or a video result on page 1 or top of page 2 is pretty common. So can it be in my best interest to target that? Definitely. For sure. Absolutely. So Pergy says, hey, Chris, quick question. I don't know if I'm low or how it sounds, but let me know if it's too low. I'll get this a little closer. I can crank up the gain for us. All right. Let's see here, Pergy. So, hey, Chris, here, let's sit down. Okay. I'm just gotta get my little bench here. Got a big jug. Okay. All good. All right. So, hey, Chris, quick question. Homepage is targeting service city keyword, but also has a location page targeting the same service city. Best way to fix this, assuming cannibalization. I think you know the answer, right? If I have service pages and I target more than one city, and I have a homepage for a business, then the homepage should be branded, right? Now, oftentimes business owners, they got it wrong from the gate, and they're so scared to lose what they currently have. But what I have found is that if I have a business that's ranking, they're already being rewarded. If I put up a new page, re-optimize, tune that page, build some links to that page, get some citations, maybe directory links to those pages, right? Get the page rank up. What I have found is it will slowly start to creep up. And when it hits page 2, then I modify the homepage to go brand. Yes, it's going to take some time. And yes, temporarily, you may lose some traffic. But if you're running a proper campaign, we have ads running. We have maps running, right? It's worth it for the long run. The last thing I want to do is be competing with myself for every keyword. But at the end of the day, it's up to you and the business owner. All right, so Ranger, if I don't list my address because I'm a service area landscaping company in a competitive city, do I have a chance to even break top 10 among all other companies with addresses in the target area? Of course. You always have a chance. And there's always outliers, and maybe you'll be one. But for me, and generally if I'm working with somebody or I'm speaking to somebody, we don't want to take a chance. I'm looking for a repeatable result on a very consistent basis. Like your business is on the line here, right? Like there can't be a maybe. So for me, right? Like I would tell you no. Like if every other business is showing an address, why go against the grain? Let's show the address. Like you probably will struggle. Absolutely. Positively. Now, given enough time, enough optimization, enough money, and enough effort, can you get up there? Sure. And and then also QDD, query deserves diversity. Can you get lucky? Sure. Absolutely. But, we and you, I'm sure you're looking for a success. So what's the path of least resistance to success? Right? That's a huge factor, So hopefully that helps you. My company is Grub Landscaping. I've done a lot to redo my business profile. Awesome. Great work. Mark Yang, doing a R&R for real estate EMD. Real estate agents. See, real estate agents, I may or may not be in the real estate space. Okay. But real estate agents, you're competing with Zillow, Realtor, Century 21, huge players that dominate, right? I don't know your specific market and I don't do agent stuff because I have always found that you are going to struggle as an agent unless you're targeting very hyper-specific neighborhoods or areas for specific features about houses, where we're building out pages for a neighborhood or a town to service, maybe homes with pools, homes in a specific school district, crime rates in a particular area. How many parks are, neighborhood homes for sale that have parks within walking distance, things along these lines. This is where we have found success. Switching out entire strategies, taking an entire another, 6 to 8 months before we found success. Like trying the initial route, going for agent type keywords, floundering miserably. Reassessing the competition, doing a lot of keyword research up front, spending a lot of time. But that's where we found success. I can only help you from past experience, right? So hopefully that helps you out. Wizard button. Any testing being done in the Mastermind every week? Every single week. Yes, in fact, here, I can't show you, here, let me see here. I can't show you who it is, right? I can show you keywords maybe. And these have fluttered around, but some of the ones that we were testing recently, okay? And there's been 3 updates. So we've updated testing results 3 times in order to come to a final. So we have one that's underneath here and one more because we had to go back. Anyway, What we were testing was building links to specific types. All right. One of the types, which is hyper popular with SEOs, not this SEO, but others that for whatever reason, they enjoy building links to these particular URL strings. So what I wanted to do was go back through, because each year we'll test backlinks going to Google Maps, Google Business Profiles, in recent year going to the Pro List, and we want to figure out, are links effective for Maps rankings? So we were building them, let's just say products, place URLs, any URL that you can build a link to that's related to a map. So we singled them out one by one by one by one by one on different properties. Anyway, this brings me to this result. I want to share this one in the public eye. Again, I'm not going to show you the business because we use donors. Okay. But what I will show you is, and let you know, is that we tested this. We've been tracking this for 3 weeks. This will be the 4th week. Why this is up is I just went in and updated all my other stuff. But we built, I don't know if you've ever used GSA. And there's GSA where you're scraping, and there's GSA with lists. What we use is a verified list. So I've been scraping and building links since a very long time. Okay. So I have a pretty good list. All right. So, so much so that we've sectioned off based on business, right? We sell a piece of a master list. But in any case, with that being said, what we did is we built, I trimmed this off because I was giving up URL information over here, if you've ever used GSA. And we probably built 42,000 links. Now, some of these links could include things like exploits, index, redirects, pretty much anything that was category right. Okay. So 42,000 is probably really only hard to say, right? I'm not going back and checking. I'm not wasting money on indexing. Like, it's a spam tool. I use it to spam. Okay. So the fastest, easiest, quickest way to get a result. Anyway, out of all of the things that we tested, and we tested 8 different places to send backlinks. And if you're in the group, it was a very monotonous task. I was updating it weekly. Torture, right? But we need to know. And what I will tell you is, for whatever this business, and this was in the 29th, so I don't mind showing this one. This was a plumber in Fort Worth. See, this is another piece. When we do tests, I'm not looking for low competition. Like, if I can't get movement in a competitive market, it doesn't matter to me, right? If I'm in a super closed off, easy market and I get movement, I could have sneezed on a Tuesday and got movement. You see what I'm saying? So, a plumber in Fort Worth is pretty tough. Like that's a high competition market. And in any case, when we built this, the reason why there's 28-32 is on the very first update. The first update, this particular performer was sitting at number 28, and they dumped to 32. Let me see if I could go up any. I cannot. All right. And then final 34, and this was on the 7th. Now I have another one because we're having our mastermind coming up, but I'm not going to show you those. But I will tell you that this particular business has plummeted. So with that being said, in my opinion, I'd steer clear of that CID. All right. Maybe that was too much to say, but I like to give you the information. All right. And I must have left that up by mistake. So, but if you saw it and that's why you asked me about testing, then there you go, my friend. And I don't mind sharing that one. That one's helpful. All right, where were we? Alex. So Alex says, Chris, Could you cover the structure you used for C. Palmer marketing when you were trying to rank for SEO services in your local market? Trying to rank my site for SEO. I would say this. So I've had numerous sites, and I've learned my lesson about showing sites on YouTube. That's why I just essentially have one page now, right? But we have multiple assets. But what I will tell you is this. When we were ranking, position one for New York SEO expert, I was ranking in LA, ranking in Houston, ranking in Phoenix. I ranked in all the cities for either SEO plus or SEO expert plus city, right? And I assure you, like, I was in Houston, Phoenix, LA, and I was page one. Sometimes we were number two, sometimes we were number one, sometimes we were number seven. But at the end of the day, like, I promise you, you do not want to go for SEO terms plus city. It's the worst term to go for. Now, what I would recommend doing is whatever categories that you service. All right, like, what category do you service? Going for that, like, don't chase volume. Not in this market. Like, go after, like, who you can service. Like, I don't care if the search volume is 10. At least those 10 are buyers. And like, when you're doing SEO pretty much in any big city is about 1900, right? Give or take. Like New York City, these types of places. Like, yeah, okay, it's a congratulations, but it won't turn into business for you. But to address your question there, when I did that initial site, I built out chrispalmermarketing.com/SEO. The SEO page was my hub page. Okay. On that hub page, I would build a boatload of links, all different types, any kind of type that I felt like. I would build it to that specific page. I'd also build links to the other pages as well. But if you were to click on, say, New York SEO, Phoenix SEO, Los Angeles SEO, Houston SEO, any of those types, it could have been expert too, right? It would then go to chrispalmermarketing.com/, let's just say it was Houston SEO expert, Chicago. Dude, I was ranking number one for Chicago SEO expert with a page of zeros. That was fun. That was fun. Yep. But I've learned my lesson about especially showing stuff publicly, right? Yeah, it's a funny thing. Yep. So, what my brother and I decided to do 2 years back when I got him on is we started launching out assets that were targeting exact match in particular industries that we were servicing. So whether it's law, whether it's real estate, I mean, those are the two big ones. We do dentist, chiropractor, but those are the main ones. So if you're ever buzzing around in a city and you're looking for, like, say, law firm SEO, law firm SEO company law, those types of keywords in a city, you may run across one that, wow, it ranks really high, but man, it doesn't look that good. So I've been told, right? That's fun. But that lead form's up at the top and it looks good on mobile, and that's all that matters. To me. As long as the phone rings, I'm very, very happy. All right. I answered your question, so I feel pretty good about that. Nick G, what's up, Chris? What's up with you, Nick G? Good to see you. 1 a.m. here as well. Okay, awesome. Give me 1 second here. Big Haze? That's a big hazy baby. What's up, Haze? You all right, buddy? Yeah? Well, that's good. Good for you. Good for you, Haze. Here. Every other city we go. Every other video. Everywhere I go, I see the same. Sorry, I had to tend to Hayes. You know, Hayes is a Labrador Retriever. He is currently 16 years of age, and he is a grumpy old man. But he is my buddy. All right, let's go on here. So, Dave, hey, Chris, changed some of my page URL slugs and deleted those pages. Now that they are ranked in Google still, but are 404, so redirected them to a new page. Have I done the right thing? All right. So you followed, I think did we chat? Yeah, I don't know. I usually talk to a person a day, one person a day. But anyway, so you've rearranged the site, we've structured it properly, took care of the internal linking, you followed the recommendation, right? I'm hoping that the recommendation came, you know, because a lot of times when it's not structured properly, you know, a business's homepage is ranking for everything, you know, or they have like a blog, some random blog page that shows up for like like all their traffic. You know, they're like, oh yeah, I'm getting 500 visitors a month and I'm cooking. And then you go and look and it's some random blog page and maybe their homepage. You know, and then it's like, oh well, let's restructure. So let's address your question though, right? You know, in my opinion, if we have a page that was not getting traffic, right, and there is no links pointing at that page that have any value or relevance, then I would not be initiating a 301 redirect. Because for why? Like, why would I want to still call the bot, right? When Mr. Bot comes and he's searching pages, he's like, oh, let's follow this redirect. Let's follow this server response code. See, I want him to hit that server response code and there be a 310. And more importantly, before he even touches that server response code, I want there to be a robots.txt to say, hey, no. But even before that, there needs to be a sitemap that says, oh, hey, here's the pages you want to come and see. And even before that, I've already submitted those old pages to the outdated section inside of Search Console. So did you catch that? Outdated in Search Console. Robots.txt. Update your sitemap, right? And then 310 the dead page, unless there's traffic or links. All right. And then that's the proper way, right? Like we don't, I know that Yoast and some of these tools, they're gonna, you know, it's like as soon as you delete a page, they're trying to throw one. I'm going through client stuff and I'm like, my friends, like this is madness. Like we got to stop this. Because who's going to remember to come back? Like when I get you winning and then you forget about this, who's going to go and clean that mess up? Nobody. Right? Because your phone's ringing, you're working, you're happy. Not you, but business owners. Right? You're running a business, you know? So, yeah, unless there's value there, I would not 301. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. I'm sorry, I'll go a little faster. I'm starting to slow down here. I'm sorry. All right, so here, Jan Doan, my good friend from BHW, my man. Good to see you, by the way. Fraser Valley Well Drilling, good to see you. So, also, would you recommend keyword service then subword or vice versa? In some rare instances, I would go keyword then location. I've worked on sites that we've done keyword then location and still found success. But, you know, I would be mindful with that. So Jan says, I have 4,000 GMBs. What is least you would do to optimize? I do citations on some, sometimes CTR and PR. What would you do? Top 3 things. With 4,000? 4,000 is a lot. That seems obscene, right? If we had, let's just hypothetically say that we have that number, right? Which seems mind-boggling to me. Then that would mean that I would have to do something that's automated and easy. So best practices can't be at play because the scale that we're at, right? So what's easy and fast that I could scale without trouble? Well, CTR's on that list. What else is easy and fast that I can actually scale? Well, reviews is on that list, right? I can automate and or outsource reviews. I can automate and or outsource traffic and clicks. See, if we're talking about optimization or doing posting, that means there has to be a setup and a process and time on a consistent basis. And if we have 4,000 units, there's no way we could scale that. So we pray that at the initial setup phase that it was at least set up subpar, right? So hopefully that helps you out. All right. Do you have an opinion on geotagging photos on your GBP? I do. You know, we tested that. We tested putting everything, whether it's geo coordinates, XDR. I might have the letters or the abbreviations mixed up, right? But it was XDR, or XML or XDRP, RDP, whatever it was, right? I think there was 120 sections. There's a piece of software out there. Actually, in fact, let's see here. I might be able to EXIF, GPS, IPTC, XMP data, okay, on images. Now, we tested this on website. So, all right, so I'll give you some opinions, but it's not really opinions at this point. Like for me, it's just, in my opinion, facts. So I tested adding schema to images and putting that on websites, where it's showing up inside of tools. And yeah, it shows up in the tool, but did it do anything? No. Going through the process and adding all 100 fields to, geolocation, XMP, all that stuff, right? That had, for the time to reward ratio, completely useless. It's not worth the time or the effort for the result that you get, which is minuscule at best. There's 0 point. Now, on those images that are going to be utilized and triple sized, if you go in to take a look at your cover photo or your logo that's within your main business listing, what you'll find is that it's actually stored within Google's, I think it'll say YMAG, right? Like if you go to a business and look at, inside, you can go to developer tools and you can pull up the P and you can pull up the images. Well, they'll size it for multiple formats depending on the screen, right? So there's value there. But what you'll find is they only do that for certain types of URLs. So why would Google, or types of images, why would Google utilize extra resource only on certain types of images? There has to be a reason. So if I was going to take the time to do that, I would do it on my cover and my logo. Hopefully that helps you out. All right, so I bought several expired domains. Okay, so here we go. Dave. Thank you, Chris. Yes, sir. My pleasure. I'm glad to help. And Ranger, hopefully that helps you, brother. I was looking for your name. Nick G. So I bought several expired domains with DA and PA and low spam score. Spam. Okay, just as a small caveat or a side note, all right? Google does not utilize spam score, right? Like these are third-party metrics. I was literally taking a clipping to make a video about the spam score from SEMrush, suspicious or malicious activities. Any combination of 3 is deemed suspicious. And what I was doing is I was going out and finding super crazy authoritative sites that have a suspicious backlink profile. All right. In order to, I would be mindful of these things, but that was just a caveat. Let's get to the question. All right. So spam scores are relevant. Now, if it's 100% spam score, maybe I would take a look at that backlink profile, but let's use our best judgment as webmasters, right? Tool makers aren't Google. All right. So, but let's keep going. I am more of a web design guy. All right. So SEO is new. I'm kind of stuck. So I don't want to mess up the backlink profile on a new site. Oh, I see. Madge, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Great guy. So what is the question here? So you have expired domains with DA and PA and a low spam score. Okay. Well, so that means, okay, so we're utilizing Moz. So this can be a small blunder, all right? Moz had some really good tool sets. I like their keyword research. I like how they lay it out. But with that being said, what I would take a look at is understanding what category of links are pointing to those expired domains and what category of links is Google rewarding. So a site, yes, the traffic, not the traffic, but the content on the site plays a role in what the site's about, right? For relevance. However, if I have a page or a site, let's just say I have a homepage link, and that site has 1,000 links that are in the category of computers and intercom, right? But that web page is about dog food, right? But I have a PC mouse blog that I want to get power to. That would still be an amazing link if I could get a homepage link from that site that has 1,000 referring domains that are in the category that I need, even though that site's about dog food. Okay. Now it would be more optimal if that's those same rules apply to 1,000 referring domains, computers and intercom is the category, and that page was about PCs. That would be optimal. But, you need to understand category of link. What does the competition have? What is Google rewarding? What type of link graph do I need to build into? Once I can understand, because all sites are connected no matter what, in one way or another, even if they don't link to each other, even if there's not a reciprocal. Well, irrelevant of reciprocal, if I link to them, they link to me. But you don't have to have a direct link in order to be in a link graph. I would understand this fact. So go and get SEMrush, go and get Majestic or Ahrefs so we can take a look at category of link that the winners have. Once we understand that, then we can take a look at those expired domains and figure out, hey, do I want to 301 these? Do I want to build on these? And no matter what we do, we want to set these up on a server. We want to set up the pages that were currently there, and we definitely want to send those links through a crawler, right? I don't call it an indexer because indexing tools don't necessarily index, but they do crawl. Google has to crawl before they can index, and then there's a filter in place that decides if it's going to make it into the SERPs. That's why a site that's not in the SERPs still passes link power, right? Because there's an index, and then there's a forward-facing index. All right, I'm tired beyond belief. It's time. It's time, my friends. I love you guys very much, though, and I will finish off these questions. So, to answer your question, all right, I'll snap out of it because I'm starting to get tired. But what I will tell you is this. Make sure you get the category right. Figure out what category it's going to take to win. If I 301 redirect, or if you just build a link over, no problem. But why would I host that? And why would I want to spend the money and the resource and effort on that? Right? Because it's not optimal. So, especially a 301. So let's get those domains, take a look at the top performers and figure out what category they're in. And then look at your domains. Keep the one that's category specific and then 301. But don't 301 to your homepage. 301 to an internal page, because if there's an issue, you always have an opportunity to save it, right? Oh, on top of this, I want to point this out too. Also, don't send it to a page that's optimized for a primary term that will affect your business if you lose that keyword or any of its keyword variations, or like a keyword like a keyword set. All right, because if I get a penalty for a keyword set, we're toast. So send it to a page that's irrelevant to you. Build it to a hub page. Build that 301 redirect to another page. This way you've checked all the boxes, you're safe no matter what, and you're building in the category. And you're a web design guy, so you're probably like, what is this dude talking about? Uh, uh, figure out the category of link first. Yeah, penalties are interesting. They won't affect the whole site, but it will affect a keyword set. So say your web design. Don't send it to a web design page, and don't send it to a web design informational page. Nothing to do with web design. Like 13 tips to, maybe color palette page or something, something like that. All right, anyway, moving on. Nick G, where do I go from here? Find out the web pages are connected to, homepage, or other URLs. I'm not sure what you're referencing. Okay. Chris, I'm trying to get local SEO clients, really just trying to show up in the map pack. In your opinion, should I categorize, try to rank for web designer? Well, that can be on the right track, but web designer for who is more important. Like who? Not only can you command a higher dollar, but you'll have a higher probability of actually generating a customer. If you're just going for web design, yeah, you might get some. But are you a web designer for law? Are you a web designer for real estate? Are you a web designer? Like, are you the web designer, the premier web designer for dentists? Right? Not only can I command a higher dollar, but I have a higher probability to actually get people in the door. Right? Much lower volume, much lower competition, much better prospecting, in my opinion. You can do whatever you'd like. So, go after particular categories. You'll find so much more success. But of course, do as you wish. And then internet marketing service, yeah, that worked for Thrive. They've been around forever, and they have an insane backlink profile. Right? Like, even go take a look at them. Like, what's actually driving their traffic? I would, again, go after primary terms that are, all of the terms that you're telling me are excellent. SEO, internet marketing, web design, great. These are great services, but for who? Put those two pieces together and you'll have a winner. Madge, yep, doing great. Alex, wondering what do you think the lead the most amount of clients and maybe how you would, okay, so we talked about that. Nick G, where do I go from here? Find the web pages are connected. Okay, where do you go from here? SEMrush, Ahrefs, Majestic. Take those websites, put them into the tool, figure out what category they're in. Go over to Majestic, they have a free tool, throw it in there. What type of category is it in? Arts and entertainment, computers and intercom, boats and recreational vehicles. Who knows? Law and government. I don't know. Right? Take note of what your primary and secondary category are. Check. The next thing is go to the figure out what your primary term is that you really, really want in the area that you really, really want. Go and grab the winner. Throw them in and look, what category are they in? Do these categories match what I'm looking at on my expired domain? If the answer is yes, pick a page. But not unless you launch it first. You have to launch it first and see if it indexes right away. If you launch a website on a server that you're going to use for 301 or as a PBN, if that sucker doesn't index right away, at least initially, it could fall out because there's no content, you don't really care about it. But it needs to index right away. It has to make it past the filter. Because if it doesn't, then there could be a penalty. There could be any number of things. Who knows? Right? Also, too, it's not worth 301 redirecting or building out if you have less than 300, 400, 500 referring domains. Like, only go for bangers. So hopefully that helps you. All right. Ollie, would you do partnerships with high DA news site like Jackie Chow? I think it only works when you find local news sites owners with good DR and SEO knowledge. I like Jackie. Would I partner with him? Uh, I would partner with him, but not on a project such as that. You know? So that's that's what I have to say about that. And then Crusher, and thank you for your question. Crusher driven by purpose. Crusher driven by purpose. In caps. I love it. So hey Chris, we provide. Oh, you guys are heating up here, man. I feel, dude, you guys are keeping me here. I'm enjoying this. I can't lie. I feel like I'm helping. Let's see here. So Crusher, hey Chris, we provide mobile detailing services in San Diego. Oh, big nice city. Our homepage is currently competing with our service page for primary keywords to achieve a higher position on the first page of Google. See, and that's the thing. There's always going to be a level of cannibalization. You know, especially if we're going into Search Console, looking up a big primary term that's in our headers and our footers, right? You're always going to have other pages that are going to show up. But is it getting click share? You know, it might get impression share because it's at the bottom of page 1, page 2, page 3, who knows, right? It might be gaining impression share, right? But is it gaining any type of click share? Like 1 or 2, not a big deal. Now, if you see that it's steadily increasing, then I would take the time to go and de-optimize a page. Pick one that needs to be detuned. But that homepage should not be optimized for a primary service or location. It just shouldn't be. Now, I retract that last piece. If we're targeting a specific state or only an area, then of course we're going to talk about location plus brand. Okay, but I don't want to be tuned for my primary key terms on my homepage. Like you're just doing yourself a disjustice. Like you're just hurting yourself. Like that's it. You're just hurting yourself. So hopefully that helps you out. Nick G, thank you, Chris. Thank you. Alex, thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. What's up, Chris? Alex, what's up with you? And thank you for the stream. Better go get some rest. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Man, I needed the setup. I had another test. Here, I'll leave you guys with this, guys and gals, and whomever's watching. So I was running a test on this page here. So I had a test that I already set up, and what I was doing was I was running traffic to a page such as this, and I was auto-loading videos and seeing if auto-loaded videos would show up as traffic on YT. And maybe the answer is yes. I didn't run a whole lot, just a little bit, just to see. But yeah, I have some tests related to embeds and traffic that I want to do with maps. So that's going to be the series of testing. Plus, I'll be able to get my answers quick. I have a conference coming up, so I really want to hit them with some really crazy stuff. Stuff that I've been working on, stuff that I've been testing. I feel very confident I figured out the formula for this quote unquote helpful content nonsense. I literally just finished up. We just had a site. I have one more that we want to clean up. I have a guy, I've finally talked to him. He has like a pressure washing company. So I have a pressure washing company that's just a total mess. He wants me to clean up. It sounds like he's on board. Because it's hard to offer services to clients that, like, hey, we have to clean this up before we can add more. This, we're going to do a lot of work, but it's nothing that you can really technically see. Yes, you can see it, but it's not, I'm not building links to your primary pages. You know, I'm not retuning the primary pages. I'm not building informational content to your primary pages. You know what I mean? It's just technical and just a mess. But with that being said, once I cleaning up that mess is some of the issue that I've noticed with, crawled currently not indexed, having lag on your high commercial intent pages or your location pages. So I'm pretty sure once we initiate the work on this pressure wash site, we just had a really nice success with a pool site. We just hit for a chiropractor in LA. It's just following the same process. If we find success one more time, that'll be 4 in a row, right? Uh, I'll probably make like a little mini training about it. I'll see if I can get permission to show a few of them sites. That'll be helpful, I think. So we'll see. And anyway, I'm going to bed. Plus, I'm losing my voice. Hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate you, Nick. Angie. Hey, Chris. Buenas. Ari's from Argentina. Well, thank you very much, Angie. It's great to see you. And Richard, thank you. And Alex G. Alex, regular. Nick G. Crusher or Cruiser. Ollie. Madge, of course, my man. Let's see here. AR, Purgy, Ranger, Wizard. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for asking the questions. Thank you for your time. So it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Many blessings. See you in the next one. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye.